Welcome back to Black News Tonight. It's time to take a look at what is trending in these digital streets. And here to help me break it all down is the entertainment journalist extraordinaire, DC's finest, Gia Peppers.
Hi, Marc Lamont Hill.
It is so good to see you. And there is nobody better to talk to about today's news than you, because I know how you feel about what I'm about to talk about. First up, rapper Trick Daddy is still getting stung on social media by Beyonce's Beehive. The hip-hop legend joined me yesterday to clarify some controversial statements he made while on a recent Clubhouse panel where he blasted Beyonce's singing and songwriting abilities. Here's what Trick Daddy told me.
And I said that Beyonce can't sing. I said she can't sing, to be exact. To me, a singer is a Stephanie Mills. A singer is a Whitney Houston, a Mariah Carey, a Alicia Keys, and Adele. To me, a singer is somebody that could go to church and have you and give you the word, and somebody that can. I'm from the South, so singing and singing is a different thing.
But the part of the interview that captured everyone's attention was this.
As far as the Beehive, good support, man. Good y'all doing. But I grew up with roaches. I'm more afraid of roaches than bees.
Well, Trick Daddy's statement to us here at Black News Tonight is sweeping the internet. It's all over these digital streets. It ended up on blogs, magazine sites like The Shade Room, Complex, and the legendary Breakfast Club. It is a heck of a thing. Gia Peppers, first of all, there's multiple layers to this. First level, what do you make of his assessment that Beyonce can't sing?
Here's my thing, right? I understand that when you are thinking of legends and you're thinking of the people that, have been creating music, the soul, Motown folks, I understand the critique there, but don't even try it. Beyonce is one of the best singers that we have out in like this. And I will say this, B has grown so much since her first album that it really just kills me when people say she can't sing. Because if you've seen her live, you know that Beyonce can sing, take her shoes off and not have to dance and still hold her own. And so for me, I think Trick is kind of going off the old narrative about B. I don't think he's been to a show where she's sung 1+1 live or any of those real ballads that make you almost like cry when you hear her voice. I think that people have different gifts, but like, sir, it's just not the hill you want to die on. It's not the crew you want to come for. I am the treasurer of the Beehive, and I'm not the crazy ones, but it can get crazy. You don't want to do, you just don't. It's not the fight. It's not the fight.
You don't want that smoke. I mean, there's a lot of people I don't want to mess with. Bloods, Crips, Hamas. But the Beehive is a whole other level of fear that I have. I don't want those problems. I happen to actually think Trick Daddy is wrong, but it's also another thing. And Gia, here's the other thing, and I do want to know what you think about this, because the Beehive sometimes goes a little too far. Trick Daddy has a restaurant, and the restaurant was rated like 4.6, 4.7, maybe even a little higher on the internet, right? They got the high ratings. They decided to not just leave his mentions in shambles, leaving bees everywhere on his Instagram and his Twitter, but they started leaving fake restaurant reviews on his website, and his restaurant score went from 4.6 to 1 point something. I'm gonna give you just an example here. Somebody wrote, I went to Trick Daddy's restaurant and I asked for some ice, and somebody threw the ice machine at me. They're not even pretending that it's real. Do not eat at this place. There was a roach in my burger and I seen a mouse behind the bar. Very horrible experience. The mac and cheese was cold. The pork chop felt rock solid. The lemonade had a fly in it. And when I asked the waitress to fix it, she gave me problems. Also, Trick Daddy came out asking me what was going on. He beat me to the ground and started singing Nan featuring Trina in my ear. I mean, like, what is wrong with these people?
Wait, that's trolling on a whole new level. I don't even think Beyonce wants people to their careers to end and their ways of life to end, but the Beehive doesn't care. It's a difference. B doesn't really speak on it because I don't even think she can be like calm down and they be like, okay. Like at this point, once the door is open, the door is open and he opened the wrong door. I understand that he feels like everybody has an opinion. He can say what he wants. And that's true, right? You have free speech. It's just when you troll the wrong crowd, and then you troll the wrong crowd with the winningest winningest singer of Grammy history, right? Like Beyonce has 28 Grammys. It's just a slap in the face to all that she's done to improve vocally on everywhere. And so her fans ride for her. We ride. And Trick, sir, it's just not the hill. We tried to tell him. You tried to tell him. He didn't listen.
I tried to told him, he ain't want to know. All right, let's move on to another story because new music is on the way from late rapper Pop Smoke. It's recently been announced that the rapper's second posthumous album will be released on July 16th. The project is yet to be titled. The announcement was made via Pop Smoke's YouTube page featuring interviews of the rapper. The artist's first album, Shoot for the Stars, Aim for the Moon, was released last summer. Of course, Pop Smoke was murdered at the age of 20 in Los Angeles last year. Gia, I'm not up on what the kids listen to, but I know that Pop Smoke was a dope artist. It was tragic to see him pass so young and in the way he did last year. A second album, though, I just wonder, is this going to be... The first album, I know he wanted out. He had completed it. Sometimes when people have that second album, I'm not always convinced that that artist would have wanted that project to look that way.
That's a good point. And I think, his family, he seems to come from a really close knit family, especially with the folks who are always around and campaigning on his behalf because he literally, can no longer do so. We have seen so much happen, though, with his career. He was one of the co-stars in Boogie, which was like a blockbuster event over the summer. And I think that at the end of the day, people miss his voice and understand that his light and his talent was so bright that even only at 20, he was literally on that runway to take off to be one of the leading rappers that is making waves right now. And he was putting New York on his back. As we saw in that video, he really felt like, he was the new chapter of New York rap that was going to take things to the next level. And so I know, Safira, who is one of my podcast co-hosts on Black Girl Pod, she actually was really close with his family. And she talks all the time about how his life was cut so short, but there's so much that they want to do on his behalf. And who are we to, say that it won't be great? It might be great. It just might be, like you said, it might not be exactly what he wanted. But I'm sure when rappers go into the studio, they do 50 to 60 tracks. There were probably some tracks that just didn't make it, maybe labels, whatever, that now have the chance to breathe. And hopefully it's some that were like, if it didn't make the top 12, that were like 13, 14, 15. So I think it'll be great. And I think his fans will really appreciate it.
I hope so. Let's talk about the City Girls, because the City Girls are speaking out about the recent negativity that they have gotten. In a recent interview for ID Magazine, the hip-hop duo claimed that people don't really hate, they just want to go viral. Since the group's debut, they've been under heavy scrutiny, and recently they've been getting into a lot of spats with strangers online who have criticized everything from the stars' romantic partners, their fashion styles, and more. Why is there so much pressure and heat on the City Girls?
The City Girls represent the part of hip hop culture that is unapologetic, and they represent the part of hip hop culture that is both all Black women and unapologetic. Whenever you are a Black woman and you're unapologetic about whatever you feel, you're going to get dragged. It is unfortunate. It is a sad reality of being on Twitter, Instagram, or whatever. But whenever you are a person that's comfortable and has agency over their sensuality, how they show up, what they do, how they run things, they are young bosses. People really do not like to see a lot of people win like that. And that's why it's so important that they do speak out, because mental health is a real thing. We saw their, counterpart, or their, peer Megan Thee Stallion. She went away from social for a whole month and a half because there was so much negativity and pressure and so many things to have to deal with. Obviously, she has another situation that is pending right now. But I do think that there has to be some grace for these young women. These are young women. They are not 40, 50. They're not trying to tell everybody how to live their life. They're just trying to make money, get cute wigs, get their little bodies right, and have a good time. And that's what their music is about, having a good time and maybe some trapping. But I mean, ain't nobody dragging Future. So what can you do?
And if there is anybody on God's green earth that needs to be dragged to eternity, it is Mr. Future. Certainly not these city girls. I'm with you, man. Stand with these black girls. Love these black girls. Do your thing. I'm with you. Dr. Gia Peppers. I call her Dr. Peppers just because I do. But thank you, Gia Peppers. I appreciate you. Keep being awesome. And make sure you come back. I know your sister is actually a real doctor now. Congrats to her. Please give her my love. She just graduated. She is a big-time doctor now. Anyway, y'all, stay with me. I got a lot more to say before I let you go.